Good morning.
Greetings.
I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of myself, on behalf of all of us, and on behalf of all the people whose liberation you have helped to achieve. Thank you so much for making this happen for us. You just can't imagine what a joy it is. We can imagine what a lot of work and effort it cost you personally, for your team and for those people who met us. Please, if I may, if you can also thank them personally, thank them on behalf of all of us, because they are the first people we have met. You have absolutely amazing Ukrainians, the Ukrainian people. We love you very much and support you. We imagine how incredibly difficult it is when you are at war, when there is such a massive attack and aggression from Russia, how difficult it is for you to cope with it, and you still find the opportunity to support us. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Mr. President, thank you again. We are ready to express endless gratitude to everyone involved in what happened, and especially to you, to the Ukrainian people, and to the American side. I know that President Donald Trump did a great deal, as did his colleagues and the team that worked with him. I also understand that this process is very complex. We cannot even imagine how everything unfolded. We know that a wonderful result was achieved, and we are happy. But we would also like to ask you a few questions, if possible. I understand that this was a multilateral process, and that Europe also took part in coordinating certain issues and aid at once. Well, such a folding thing caught you. We are now in a free country, we are now in Europe, but for example, as you can see, we all have pieces of paper instead of passports. We have a white sheet of paper with some kind of stamp on it, there is not even a signature or a date. This is our only document, and everyone who has arrived has the question of whether they will be able, in some way, to link their future with the country they choose. For example, will it be possible to stay in Ukraine? Will that be allowed? Or to remain in Lithuania or in Poland? Could you help us with this issue? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me try to help right away. Firstly, I understand Belarusian very well, I didn't even think about it. Maria, I would like to thank our entire team and thank our scouts. Our police and representatives of the Ministry of Internal Affairs will also take care of the safety of your transport. I spoke with the minister, we spoke with him yesterday, we discussed all the details. I thank everyone, Budanov and Klemenko, everyone who helps and those who welcome you in Chernihiv, in the Chernihiv region. Second, we will definitely convey our gratitude. And I will now see the Americans, we have a meeting here in Berlin, and I will convey warm congratulations to the Americans for help from President Trump, as well as to our European colleagues. As for documents, passports, I didn't know about this problem. In principle, I was told some details before our conversation with you regarding your document problems. Let's talk, I will talk to our team, as well as to the Lithuanians and to Poland, where all of you and your colleagues will be, and I think that this is not the last opportunity to return the citizens of Belarus, political prisoners from these places where you were, prisons, etc. I think we still need to think about this in general, about a large number of people, and therefore we need to find a way out here. Let's work and propose.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. Victor Barbarico. No matter how many words of gratitude we say, they will still not be enough. Therefore, what I would like to clarify right away, to say, probably, understanding the incredible amount of work, difficulties, and especially right now you are in the midst of the most difficult negotiations, and still find time to talk to us there, and help us solve our problems. I would like to know the opposite situation. Is there anything we can do to help you make this stop as soon as possible? And so that peace, happiness, and prosperity truly reign on your rich land, rich not only in nature, but most importantly, rich in humanity.
Difficult question, Victor. You see, you know the very consequences of the struggle for independence and for freedom. You know for yourself. The only thing is that you fought, but your entire state did not fight. And this is not like a reproach, as in Russian, a rebuke. I don't know how to say this word in Belarusian, in Ukrainian it's a reproach. And these are not any accusations, it's just what it is. We have full-scale aggression, not slow aggression. And slow aggression, which is what Russia has been spreading to Belarus, is, you know, the political and diplomatic erosion of your freedom. Our aggression is military and open war, of course, our people have openly fought and are fighting for independence. And everyone wants the war to end. The war cannot end with the loss of freedom for Ukraine. Many people gave more, even more, than freedom. Although, on the one hand, what could be more? Probably the lives of loved ones, relatives. This is more than your personal freedom. And that's why we gave a lot for this, for the freedom of Ukraine. And that's why we can't allow the war to end with the loss of this very thing. Because it will turn out that so many people died, you know, died for no reason. This is simply unfair. It's simply dishonest, unfair to them, to their memory. This, there is such a Ukrainian word, is betrayal, truly betrayal, of your people and the lives of these people. And so, how to deal with this? Top it politically. Warriors are being fought at the front, diplomats are doing it in a diplomatic way. And you know exactly the price of struggle. And so I think you will have the opportunity to have some kind of manifestation abroad. And probably, messages from you will be important. And your signals to the Belarusian people are also very important. Because when the war started, missiles were flying from Belarus. And that's why I think it's important that you reach out to people in Belarus so that you don't lose these contacts with them. This is not easy. I think you haven't been free for many years, and I think it's not easy to reconnect, and I understand that. So, as much as you see, help as much as you can.
Thank you very much. I'll just add and say, in fact, there is some uncertainty that is present now, especially in our statements. It is mostly connected, let's call it that, with post-prison shock. Believe me, we are all united in our assessment of this position. You are suffering, you are subject to or have been subjected to aggression, and you are absolutely right. Freedom and the lives of people who gave their lives for this freedom are the most valuable. And it must triumph above all. And it must somehow still win. And it will win.
The most important thing today is, for us, for example, not to lose the Union of America and Europe, because Russia deals exclusively with this. Secondly, I believe that the strong Russian narratives are that they do not want to go further into Europe with the war. And I believe that when Russia itself says very often that it doesn't want something, then expect trouble. And I just think, you know, this is not the first time, we remember this about everything. And about Crimea, and about Donbas, and about everything. where they said they were never a brotherly people or whatever they called it, but it always turned into full-scale aggression. Therefore, we understand that what is happening is very difficult for us at the front if we talk about us, but it is also very difficult for the Russians. They have a numerical advantage, they have more people. In short, they have more people, they have more shells, and they have many more deaths. They are losing 30,000 killed per month today. This is a fact. Why? This is a fact. I'm only stating a fact confirmed by drone video. That is, we have all these videos, we have servers, everything, we store it all and share it with various partners. And this suggests that the bloodiest months of the war in the 25th year, here they are in the autumn, they are now passing. The Russians want to occupy as much of our territory as possible in order to have such a negotiating position. And they don't want to stop, but economically it's very difficult for them. We see it, we know it. They are already reducing the money for the military. And here the question is simply whether Putin will want to continue to fight with other countries of the world. And the answer is simple. In the next hour I do not know the decision to be able to do so, to which we are ready. And what should you prepare for next? He will need quick victories then. He needs to clearly show his society, just show some victories. And then the countries that are close to Russia need to be careful here, so that there would be a short land operation so that he could do it in a few days, weeks. Days are their fantasy, but they can occupy even a small country in a few weeks. I think that our Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, and I believe that Kazakhstan is also under threat, may take a risk in Poland. And so, in my opinion, this is exactly what is happening. If the Americans are able to stop Putin together with the Europeans, then I think we have a pause. Which one? I don't know. Years, months, decades. Nobody knows. Depending on who will be in Russia. Depending on who will be at the head of Russia. What strong leaders will lead Europe and the United States of America? Something like this.
Thank you very much. I am very short. Dear Mr. President, thank you very much for this meeting. We understand how hard it is to find the time, and you found it. This is a very, very big honor for us, on your part. We wish you success, not only on the front, but also in the difficult negotiations you are currently conducting. Because peace is extremely important for your people, for you personally, we are convinced of this, and for those heroes who are now in the trenches. For my part, I would like to thank you very much for your efforts and your humanitarian contribution to our liberation. And here I want to say that it is very important that this process is not stopped. Because thousands of our friends, colleagues, for whom we bear personal responsibility for each one, for the fate of each one, are now behind bars, and it is really very difficult for them, and they are under threat. And it is very important that the euphoria of our liberation does not overshadow this memory and this feeling of responsibility and this humanitarian mission of our common mission to free all political prisoners. Therefore, as a person who has extensive experience in negotiations, and may be the best in Europe right now, a participant in the negotiations and who can lead these conversations, I ask you not to forget this, and when you talk to your colleagues from Europe and America, that this process continues, because it is very important for us that this track be continued. But even if there is a feeling that we have liberated everyone in Belarus, let it not lead to us becoming complacent and Europe becoming complacent, because people in Ukraine can appear again at any minute. And this regime will not stop at political prisoners, so that this process does not become endless. It must come to an end somewhere, a full stop, and so that, at least for a certain time, there will be no political prisoners in Belarus. And this is really very important, and we hope for your role in this as well. And yet such a very brief moment. It is very important here that we do not lose our cultural, historical narrative of the Belarusian and Ukrainian people. And we understand that, let's say, pain and that feeling of terrible, brutal injustice on the part of the Belarusian regime, which occurred especially at the beginning of the war. It is very important to us that this does not spread to the entire Belarusian people. Because I am personally convinced that the majority of the Belarusian people, the absolute majority of the Belarusian people wish you success, and they do not share and, of course, condemn what the Belarusian regime did at the beginning of the war, and what it does all the time with regard to Ukraine. Therefore, we sincerely ask that you, as the leader of your country, do not create a situation where this connection between the Belarusian and Ukrainian people is severed, and that we then reconcile with you not only at the level of the new authorities, but also at the level of the Belarusian people and the Ukrainian people. Thank you.
I saw what was happening in the country during the 14th and 15th years. And the fact that today we experience the mercy and sincerity of the Ukrainian people and Ukrainian volunteerism was very touching for us. And we ask you to continue to consider the Ukrainian volunteer movement as a trustworthy and very worthy partner, an equal partner of the Ukrainian state. And so, as a continuation, among those who are in Belarusian prisons today, there are women. Women whose entire fault was that they were actually volunteers, that they were handing over things, food, and medicine to prisoners. And the only place where they are located is Gormel. And it would be quite natural for Ukraine to pay attention to how the women were freed in the first place. And besides gratitude, I personally wish you victory in the elections.
Thank you very much. It is very important to us that you have now found the time to talk to us. I really hope that we will have the opportunity to thank you personally and hug you.
Definitely. Thank you. I congratulate you once again. Thank you for our meeting. Even in video format, what's the difference? All this is still sharing. And I am very, very glad to see you. Thank you for the communication. Yes, I wish all the best. Goodbye.